Greetings and salutations, my dearest friends. My name is Samantha, and today I'm going to be recommending some of my favorite books of all time. Hello, how are you? Welcome back to my channel, and welcome to another week's installment of 100 Days, 100 Books. If you didn't know, I started a new series on my channel and really all of my socials, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, etc, etc. It's called 100 Days, 100 Books, and essentially what it is that every day for 100 days I am recommending one of my favorite books of all time. I'm trying to pick like my absolute top favorite books, only 5 stars. These are the books that I feel like really define my personality. I know 100 books is a lot, but I've been reading for a long time, and I also read quite a variety of genres. I read romances, cozy mysteries, fantasies, kind of a little bit of everything. I really wanted to start this series because although I do love reading vlogs and aesthetic videos and fun challenges and readathons and all that jazz, what I really love the most is recommending books, talking about my favorite books, and getting recommendations from you guys. So this is just like a fun little project for myself to have a nice, organized place of all of my favorite books that I've read. And yeah, that's basically the premise. So what I've been doing every single day on my Instagram and TikTok is I will post a quick reel, a quick TikTok, just giving you a recommendation. It could be romance, it could be cozy mystery, fantasy. I try to mix it up. And then here on my YouTube, once a week, I'm posting a video where I will wrap up what I recommended throughout the week. So you'll get 7 recommendations in this video. I kind of decided to pop in randomly throughout the week as I was filming my videos. So I will go ahead and play this series of clips where each day I was recommending something to you guys. I have a good grouping of some of my favorite books. I have historic romances, cozy mysteries. I do have a playlist on my channel with all of these videos, so if you want to watch them, it'll be linked down below. But yeah, let's go ahead and just hop into the clips of all of my recommendations. Hi, hello. I'm here for my first recommendations of the week. I am a little sick, so that is why I look the way that I look, but we're not letting that keep us down. We are dedicated to the 100 Days, 100 Books challenge. So for this week, I decided to recommend some of my favorite historical romances, trying to only talk about books that I've given 5 stars and that I would highly recommend. Now, these 2 books right here, I read quite a while ago, and I continuously think about them. I have reread them multiple times. They are in my like top 10, maybe even top 5 favorite books of all time. So these are just like quintessential Sam favorites. So that's what we're going to talk about right now. The first one, this is my day 8 recommendation, and it is Again the Magic by Lisa Kleypas. If you guys have been on my channel for any length of time, you will know that this book has been my favorite for a very long time. So much so that I even have a tattoo on my arm. It says Again the Magic. That's how much I love it. It is a angsty second chance romance. It is the prequel to her very popular Wallflower series. It follows Lady Eileen and McKenna, who are childhood sweethearts. They've grown up together. However, there is a little bit of a class difference. Lady Eileen is the daughter of an earl, and McKenna is a stable boy who works for her father. Her father does not approve of their relationship whatsoever. Something happens that ends up getting between them and breaks them apart. McKenna ends up getting sent to America, completely brokenhearted. Story picks up again years later. McKenna is back from America, and he is back with a vengeance. He's a self-made man. He has a little bit of shmoney on him, and he definitely wants to show Lady Eileen everything that she's been missing because she broke his heart. So it follows the romance, very angsty, very romantic, and this is like one of my favorite heroes of all time. I am zound bad for McKenna, okay? So yeah, Again the Magic, definitely one of my favorite historicals. There's the gorgeous step back for you. This is a hardcover. I found this off of Thrift Books. Sometimes you guys ask where I get my hardcovers. I usually get them off Thrift Books or eBay. Sometimes I'll be lucky at a bookstore or like a thrift store, but yeah, anyways, one of my favorites of all time. Love. I mean, I have it tattooed on my body, so obviously I love. And then the next one is so special to me, and that is Indigo by Beverly Jenkins. See, even though I'm sick, talking about these books just brings me an immense amount of joy. Like, I can't help but smile when I think about them and get like those little butterflies in my stomach, and like that is the definition of a good romance. But anyways, Indigo by Beverly Jenkins. Beverly Jenkins is queen. She's an icon. She is a legend. She is the moment. I was lucky enough to meet her at a book signing recently, Steamy Lit Con. I saw her. I was just like so overwhelmed with joy, and I cried in her arms, quite literally. It was truly a magical experience. She is Queen Beverly Jenkins. She's an absolute trailblazer for the historical romance genre. She writes Black romances that are filled with so much culture and history and just sweepingly romantic plots, and I absolutely love her. So Indigo definitely is one of my favorites that I've read by her. It takes place during the Underground Railroad. It follows our characters Hester and Galen. Hester ends up meeting Galen under his moniker the Black Daniel. He is known for freeing African American slaves, and he is badly injured. Hester's home is a safe house in the Underground Railroad, so he ends up going there. She nurses him back to health, and it follows their romance. It is perfect. It's perfect. I feel like this book is for everyone. I read a lot of romances, and this is one of my favorites. And then my dad, he normally doesn't read romances. He reads like mysteries and thrillers, and he read this book and he loved it. So get into Indigo by Beverly Jenkins. These are my 2 recommendations for the week, day 8 and day 9, and I will chat with you guys tomorrow.
Hello, it is day 10 out of 100. In my last 100 Days of 100 Books video, I was like, you know what? I'm going to pick like my solid favorites in the first few days. I'm going to try to pick books that I think will generally be liked so people can like know I have impeccable book taste. And then I'll hit them with some weird shit, some weird Omegaverse, some fan fiction. But it's day 10 and I'm already recommending an Omegaverse. I cannot be stopped. I just love Omegaverse so much. And honestly, that is really all I've been reading these past couple months. But anyways, this is one of my favorites of all time. If you're not familiar with Omegaverse, it is, well, first of all, I have a whole video, like Omegaverse 101, whole breakdown down below. It is a very niche subgenre that started in AO3 and fan fiction and kind of has exploded. You can definitely do Omegaverse in any setting. Contemporary, mafia romance, paranormal romance, fantasy, like whatever you want to do. It is as if shifter romances and fated mates had a baby. A cute little sexy baby. In Omegaverse, people are born with a specific designation. You're either an alpha, a beta, or an omega. And depending on that designation, you have different biological needs and urges. This is the core of Omegaverse, and there are other things that are very unique to the subgenre. So yeah, anyways, one of my favorite Omegaverses, and if you're actually unfamiliar with the genre, this is a really great place to start. It is Whiskin Sin by Emily Rath. Emily Rath is an author who's very well known for her hockey romance series. However, I think this is my favorite book by her. Okay, it is so good, and I consistently ask Emily Rath. I'm a complete nuisance to her life. Every time I see her and every time we chat online, I'm like, girl, write more Omegaverse. Like, when is it happening? But anyways, this is a male-male romance. It follows our hero Silas, who is an Omega. At the start of the book, he is running away from his kidnappers, taken into an Omega trafficking ring, but he manages to get away, and that is how he meets our hero Bear. Silas is very badly injured on the side of the road, and that is where Bear sees him and kind of like takes him in, nurses him back to health. He mistakenly thinks that Silas is a beta because he's on suppressants. Bear is an alpha, and Silas obviously has not had the best luck with alphas. He doesn't trust them, but Bear is literally just this like cinnamon roll, this cute gruff teddy bear. Ends up offering Silas protection, and it follows their romance as they're both just healing together. It does have a lot of trigger warnings, so I would highly recommend checking out the trigger warnings prior, but I think it is just such a good solid Omegaverse slow burn. It has that very classic fated mates trope that a lot of Omegaverse tend to have. Has a found family trope as well, so I just think it's brilliant, and I want Emily Rath to write like a dozen more Omegaverses. But I know her hockey romance series is very popular and it's very good as well, but like, I love this book. If any Omegaverses that you think I should read, leave them down below. I've read a lot, babe. I've read a lot, but I'm always looking for more. So anyways, love you.
Hello. Hi. I don't know what day it is. Yay. I really, if I did not have everything organized on Canva, I don't even think I would know my own birthday. Anyways, day 11? Is it? I guess it is. Day 11. Okay, beautiful. Wonderful. Excuse you.
Trust of the Emerald Sea by Brandon Sanderson is today's recommendation. I felt like recommending, ignore the mess in the background, I'm pre-filming a bunch of videos. I felt like recommending a fantasy book because the intro to my 100 Days of 100 Books is, hi, my name is Samantha. No, I don't talk like that. Intro goes as such. Greetings and salutations, my name is Samantha. I am doing a challenge called 100 Days, 100 Books, where every day for 100 days, I recommend one of my favorite books. I read romances, cozy mysteries, and fantasies, a little bit of everything, and then I'll recommend a book. We're on day 11, and I haven't recommended a fantasy, and it's literally in my intro. So, we're going with one of my favorite fantasies of all time, and that is Trust of the Emerald Sea by Mr. Brandon Sandy. If you guys didn't know, I'm a huge Brandon Sandy fan. Like, huge. I absolutely love him. I really only started reading his books this year. I was a little bit on the late train. It's okay. I'm here now. I am in the Cosmo universe now. And he is hyped up for a reason. His books are genuinely that good. And I know he has an extensive backlist and it can get very complicated, like the whole Cosmo universe. If I were to recommend like a starting point, personally, everyone else might have a different answer, but me, and also Brandon Sanderson himself, because I watched a video where he was talking about like where you should get started, and he did say this book. This is one of his secret projects, and it is loosely tied into the Cosmo universe, but can absolutely 100% be read as a standalone. I know that because I did that. This was the first Brandon Sanderson book I read, and I wasn't confused. Anyways, this is loosely a reimagining of The Princess Bride. It follows our heroine Tress, who lives surrounded by the Emerald Sea. Now, this sea is not what you and I would think of with like water. It is actually filled with spores that move with like gusts of air, and if these spores get exposed to any drop of water, liquid, just like a little drop of sweat, it's disastrous. Some of them explode. Some of them have very other disastrous reactions to liquid. So it is extremely dangerous to travel these seas. In fact, it's forbidden. People cannot travel these seas unless they are trading or they have gotten explicit permission from the king. Now, our heroine grows up in this small town. She doesn't really ever expect to leave. However, her best friend Charlie is sent out into these dangerous waters. Not waters, dangerous spores, and he doesn't come back. So she's very worried, and she decides to go on this grand adventure to save her best friend and also the love of her life, Charlie. I love this because first and foremost, it is an adventure book, and I love adventure stories more than anything. Tress, our heroine, is one of my favorite heroines that I've ever read about. She was so brave and adventurous and strong and kind, and I loved it. It really had a little bit of everything. This book is almost told like a fairy tale. You do have a narrator, Hoyd. He is a little bit of an unreliable narrator, but it definitely aids to the story, and it's just fun. I absolutely loved this one. It is everything you want from like an epic fantasy adventure book. There's pirates, there's fighting, there's a cool magic system. It's just so well explained, so detailed, and a really great read. I have like a dozen different tabs in here because I had such a great time reading and listening to this book. I listened to the audiobook and read the book in tandem, and it was blessed. So that is my recommendation for today. A cute little fantasy book. Highly recommends. That's it. I'll see you tomorrow for tomorrow's recommendation. Today, I was kind of in like a cozy mystery mood, definitely feeling the fall vibes. So I'm gonna recommend some cozy mysteries for my 100 Days, 100 Books challenge. You guys wanna know something? I like to match the book that I'm talking about with my makeup and my outfit. So I think about the book first, the recommendation first, and then I'm like, okay, a brown book, brown lip, brown shirt. Means nothing to anyone else but me. Probably nobody notices or cares. But I like it. It makes me happy. But anyways, today's recommendation, and it is Cookie Dough or Die by Virginia Lowell. This is the first book in a series. It is called the Cookie Cutter Shop Mystery Series. I actually read this one a while ago, but I definitely love Virginia Lowell's writing when it comes to cozies, so I feel like she's a good author to check out if you've never read cozies before. This book follows our main character Olivia and her best friend Maddie. They own a shop that specializes in custom cookie cutters. Very interesting. She is extremely close to a woman in town. Her name is Clarice. She comes from old money, has a lot of wealth, and she very tragically passes away. When her will is being read, the entire family is completely surprised that Olivia is actually left a good portion of the inheritance, as well as some very classic cookie cutters that are worth a lot of money. Very quickly, Olivia becomes the prime suspect in the case because she had so much to gain from this woman's death. So she needs to clear her name as well as keep her business afloat. I really liked this one. The main character is very quirky, and I know a lot of people, when I was reading the Goodreads reviews, didn't like that about her, but honestly, I loved it. I also really liked the side characters. Her best friend really added to the story, and she has a cute little dog that is also like her little sidekick. So just a very fun, cozy mystery. I definitely need to pick up more books from this series, but it is a good start to the entire series. And I believe this is going to be day 12 of 100 Days, 100 Books. Now, I don't like to recommend the same genre back to back. I do like to mix it up, so I don't know if I'm going to use this as day 13, but definitely it's going to be a recommendation this week because it is a recent cozy mystery release that I have been really, really loving. I tried to balance my recommendations from old favorites as well as some new favorites. So this one is The Body in the Bookstore by Ellie Alexander. It is the first book in her Secret Bookcase mystery series, so obviously it is a bookish cozy. The book follows our heroine Annie, who lives in a small town in Southern California. She works at a bookstore, and her and the employees at the bookstore are really struggling to make ends meet. So to gain more traction for the business, she decides to host a mystery festival in her town. This festival definitely draws in a lot of different people, especially some people in her past. Mystery starts off when our heroine Annie finds one of her old college classmates dead in the bookstore, a body in the bookstore, quite literally, and she has to figure out what's going on. She ends up working with the lead detective. I would say that our heroine is a little bit more advanced than your typical average sleuth because she did go to school for criminology. The detective on the case was her old criminology professor, so they end up working in tandem to solve this mystery. Our heroine has a lot of secrets in her own past as well, which kind of aids as a secondary plot. It's also a great start to the series. I am a huge fan of Ellie Alexander in general. Her writing style is just amazing. The way she kind of like plots out her mysteries and crafts her characters. She's a complete master of her craft. I usually get very like attached to her characters, just the way she fleshes them out. So yeah, I think Ellie Alexander is a phenomenal cozy mystery writer, and I'm excited that she started this series because it is so different from her Big Shot mystery series or even her Sloane Cross mystery series. Really great cozy mystery recommendations, perfect to pick up during the fall season, nice and cozy. Alright, we are on day 14, so the last recommendation for this video and for this week. I filmed the recommendation for this video and I don't know what happened to the clip, so I'm refilming it. I know this is so silly and probably nobody notices, but I always try to match my makeup to the book that I'm recommending in these videos. I don't know. It's fun, okay? I don't know why I do that, but it kind of like kills me right now that I'm wearing this like brown lip and it doesn't match the book I'm gonna recommend. Anyways, nobody cares but me. Today's recommendation is Fractured Sky by Catherine Cowles. This is a romantic suspense book. It is technically the last book in the Tattered and Torn series, but I read it out of order and I felt like it was fine. Normally I try not to recommend books out of order, but I loved this one so much and I feel like you could technically read it as a standalone, so that's what I'm going to recommend it as. What is her name? I can remember all of the tropes, but I literally cannot remember any character names. God, I know his name. What is her name? So this book follows our heroine Shiloh, who at the age of 10 was actually kidnapped. I was saved from that whole situation, but obviously it was a very traumatic experience for her and her family. So growing up, she has felt very sheltered by her family because they are all kind of healing from what had happened. Though her family loves her and she feels that love, she also feels a little suffocated by it, and she's really ready to live her own life. And that is where she ends up meeting our hero Ramsey. He works on a farm next to their house, and he works specifically with horses and animals, training them and helping them heal as well. Everyone really feels a kinship with the horses as well as our hero. So working for him, and it follows their slow burn romance. I feel like the two of them are really the definition of soulmates, and they're just healing together. This does have a little bit of a romantic suspense plot to it because our heroine starts to receive threatening and concerning letters referencing her past. But what really gets me about this book in particular is just the emotional connection between our characters. Like I said, they feel like soulmates. The way they care about each other, the way they help each other heal, and how they understand each other is so ridiculously beautiful. For someone who really loves like sweepingly romantic and emotional books, you will love this one. And it does have quite an interesting like plot as well. I feel like it's perfectly balanced between being plot driven and character driven. So I love it. I love it a lot. And I need to read more Catherine Cowles because this is the only book I've read by her. I haven't even finished the rest of the series. No, I should probably finish the rest of this series. Kind of weird that I started with the last book, but I know so many of my friends, this was like their favorite Catherine Cowles. So it's just what I started with, and I did really, really love it. It's one of my favorite books of all time now. Anyways, that is my last recommendation for the week. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and maybe got some new recommendations. If you have read any of these books and loved them, let me know in the comments down below. Also, let me know what kind of recommendations you'd be interested in moving forward. Do you guys like when I talk more about romances, cozy mysteries? Like, let me know. Or if there's like a specific trope you want me to really dive deep into. I have all the recommendations up here, okay? Not the names. I'll never remember character names, but the tropes and stuff, they're all right there. Anyways, I'm having a lot of fun filming this series, and I hope you guys are enjoying it too. If you stayed this long and you watched this video, what emoji should you leave me? How about some night sky emojis because of fractured sky? That was the last recommendation. So go ahead and leave me some night sky emojis in the comments down below. Leave one of those emojis down below if you stayed for the whole video so I know that we're bookish besties. As always, thank you for taking time out of your day to spend time with me. It means the world to me. I hope you guys are all staying happy and healthy, and I will see you in my next video.